Tokyo 2020 Organizing Committee said on Friday, December the 4th, that the postponement of the Games until next year because of the pandemic will cost Japanese organizers an additional 294 billion yen. Organizers have been assessing the financial impact of the delay. According to organizers, Tokyo Metropolitan Government is expected to pay 120 billion yen, the Organizing Committee 103 billion, and the Japanese government 71 billion. The IOC have previously said they will contribute $650 million to covering postponement costs. This is separate from costs announced by Japanese organizers on Friday. Tokyo 2020 are also falling back on contingency fund of 27 billion yen. That's about $300 million, detailed in last year's budget. The last official budget given by the organizing committee was in December 2019, months before the Games were postponed, and that was $12.6 billion. Tokyo 2020 President Yoshihiro Mori added that the IOC had agreed to waive any additional royalties accrued by the new sponsorship deal secured by the organizing committee.
The status of Australia's Great Barrier Reef was moved to critical and deteriorating by a global authority in nature conservation on Wednesday as a result of coral bleaching caused by climate change. The International Union for Conservation of Nature said the World Heritage listed site of Australia's northeastern coast suffered worsening reef health and diversity of animals due to the bleaching events of 2016, 2017 and 2020. Rising sea temperatures and poor water quality are the two biggest threats to the Great Barrier Reef, which had lost more than half its coral in the past 3 decades. The Great Barrier Reef was World Heritage listed in 1981 by UNESCO as the most extensive and spectacular coral reef ecosystem on the planet.
Chancellor Angela Merkel said on Wednesday, December the 2nd, after talks with German state leaders, Germany will extend restrictive measures designed to stem a new tide of COVID-19 infections until January the 10th. The measures, which had been due to expire on December the 20th, include keeping restaurants and hotels shut and limiting private gatherings to 5 people from 2 households. Merkel told a news conference another round of consultations would be held on January the 4th. While the daily rise in infection numbers has started to fall, Germany reported its highest single-day death toll on Wednesday since the start of the pandemic. Markus Söder, leader of the southern state of Bavaria, said the high number of deaths justified keeping restrictions in place until January. While Merkel has always been in favor of stricter lockdowns, many of the regional premiers who have the final say in Germany's federal system were opposed to that. This, however, is beginning to change. Restrictions on gatherings will be eased slightly to allow families to meet over the holiday.
Spanish Health Minister Salvador Illa said that the Spanish government agreed with regional authorities on December 2nd that a maximum of 10 people per household will be allowed to gather for the holidays to avoid spreading the coronavirus and that travel between regions will be limited. The agreement means a slight relaxation of the current general rule that allows gatherings of up to 6 people, except in some regions that have defined their own limits. The start of the nighttime curfews in force in most Spanish regions would be moved to 1:30 a.m. from 11 p.m. on December 24th through 31st. The health minister noted the movement of people between regions will be banned, with some exceptions, between December 23rd and January 6th, adding that although the latest infection data inspired some optimism, prudence was paramount. The 10-person limit includes children, and the official recommendation is for people from the same household to celebrate together without outside guests. Spain imposed a 6-month state of emergency in October, giving regions legal backing to impose curfews and other restrictions.
Boeing 737 MAX took off on Wednesday, December the 2nd, on its first public appearance with media on board since being grounded over crashes. Wednesday's flight from Dallas, Texas to Tulsa, Oklahoma comes weeks before the first commercial passenger flight on December the 29th and is part of a concerted PR effort to restore the jet's image following a 20-month ban. Wednesday's flight marks the first time anyone besides regulators and industry personnel have flown on the MAX since its grounding. Last month, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration cleared the jet following design changes and new training. A smooth return to service for the MAX is seen as critical for Boeing's reputation and, of course, finances. Boeing has said the airlines will take a direct role in demonstrating to passengers that the 737 MAX is safe.
With the early morning hours, Palestinian farmers are active in moving between citrus trees to pick fruits that have completed the ripening stages of oranges or clementine. Thousands of acres were planted with various citrus fruits to meet the needs of the Gaza residents.
الموجود في المحررة هذه تقريبا 1400 دلم بس المحررة هذه.
We have in this land about 1,400 acres of citrus, and in the other lands there are 350 acres of cultivated clementines, which produce 250 tons of clementines, equivalent to about 800 tons of citrus only in these lands, and it may increase. But unfortunately, we do not have an export for these quantities, and the markets in the strip are saturated at very reasonable prices for the citizens, and this is a significant increase in the production.
The Ministry of Agriculture in Gaza said that the total of what was cultivated this season is 20,000 acres of citrus fruits of all kinds, which produced about 37,000 tons. It explained that 80% of the strip's citrus needs became available locally, noting that production fluctuates from year to year due to high and low temperatures, scarcity of water, and its salinity.
الحمضيات والتكاثر الامتداد في التكاثر منها هذا يعتمد على نسبة حلاوة المياه.
The production of citrus fruits depends on the sweetness of the water. The more sweet the water is, the more we have production. However, we have huge quantities of citrus fruits that are sufficient for the entire Gaza Strip, and we wish that we'd be able to export the extra production.
Meanwhile, Gaza is expected to reach self-sufficiency in citrus fruits within a few years, as the product is available in the market now at very reasonable prices for the farmer and the consumer. And there are many varieties available now. The most important of them are different kinds of oranges, clementina, grapefruit, lemon, and other varieties.
قطاع غزة يذخر بإنتاج الحمضيات وإنتاج وفير من.
The Gaza Strip has an abundance of citrus fruits of various kinds, such as oranges, lemons, grapefruits, clementines, and the targeted items from merchants and citizens. Usually, citrus fruits bring a lot of good and profit to the merchants and citizens, and the soil of the Gaza Strip is good for this farming.
Moreover, the Ministry of Agriculture in Gaza seeks to support the local product and protect the farms in terms of enhancing laws in order to protect the local product and support the Palestinian farmer within the policy of substituting imports for exports and adopting the policy of the resistant agriculture economy, as well as working according to plans prepared by a number of stakeholders in order to reach the stage of self-sufficiency. For the citrus tree is and has always been the backbone of the Palestinian economy in the Gaza Strip. For KTV2, this is Business Review Program, Yumna Sayed, Gaza, Palestine.
This has been Business Review, your daily source for the most critical financial stories. Tune in next time for the latest financial news impacting the world economy.